tied up by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Three Guys on Mic. I'm William, joined by the man himself, Aaron Romero, little man as he likes to call himself, and we're back with another NBA video. NBA season is finally back. It's approaching in about a week or so. I don't know, when does it start?
Tuesday, the 19th.
Yeah, it starts on Tuesday. And again, like I said in the other videos, I wasn't really excited, but now I'm really excited for the NBA season. Why? I do not know. I'm going to go ahead and give my Eastern Conference predictions for the standings, and Little Man's going to do the same, but with the Western Conference. We're both going to react to each other's standings, and we're going to critique each other and see what we're going to change, or what we should change. So, Little Man's going to go ahead and start off with his Western Conference predictions.
Do you want me to go from 8?
Yeah, go from 8.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. 8. Whew. I mean, how many years in a row have they made the 8th spot? Taking the Memphis Grizzlies once again.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like they live there. They treat that thing like it's a number 1 spot, right?
Uh-huh.
Hopefully they don't get in the playing game. But I still think they have young stars and, Dylan Brooks, John Morant, Desmond Bane, who's a deadly 3-point shooter and can play defense. They got Steven Adams, right?
Yeah.
They trade away. No, they got Eric Bledsoe off a trade.
Uh-huh.
He leaves, right? With that being said, this team still hasn't gotten a whole lot better from last year. But with the way they play, I still think they could find a way to win games and get the 8th spot.
Okay, agreed. I agree with you.
You agree with me?
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to 7. This might be, I'm not sure if it's a little shocker to you. I'm not honestly sure, but pretty sure you already saw it.
Yeah.
I have the Dallas Mavericks, right?
I have them there too.
Last year they kind of snuck into that 4 to 5 spot, right? But this year, I think Luka and Kristaps, it has to end sometime. And I'm not seeing it getting any better. I don't think their relationship is fixable at this point. As we all know, all the reports about Kristaps, he never got traded.
Yeah.
So imagine how that feels about Luka, right?
Yeah.
I have them at 7 because of chemistry issues.
And
Number
new
6,
head coach, right?
and a new head coach.
Yeah.
I totally forgot Carlisle resigned.
Yeah.
Number 6, the Golden State Warriors. Now they're getting Clay back, who hasn't played in 2 years. They're getting Steph Curry, who, as we all know, probably
Was the MVP of last season.
to some. They lose Kelly Oubre, who I thought was a phenomenal player for them. They get Bjelica, a sharp shooting center. You still have Draymond Green. We all know what he does. Airballs game winners. James Wiseman. Well, I'm expecting a big year out of. I'm not even gonna lie. Last year was his learning step, and this year he's gonna take that step forward. But I have him at 6 because Clay hasn't really played all that much, right?
Yeah. I disagree with that.
5. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Number 5, the Denver Nuggets. Another team who kind of snuck into the spot they were in last year. Were they 3? And without Jamal Murray, but I will give credit to Jokic, phenomenal player, MVP, got them to that spot. It's probably the worst MVP in 35 years.
I never said
Not
that.
at all. You did say that, don't even lie.
That's a joke.
But I think the West, the top 4 teams in this West, are still too stacked for them to make it in there. Okay. Number 4, this one's kind of hard too. I can kind of wrestle with this being 4 and 3. But I have the Clippers. They lose Pat Bev and Rajon Rondo. You get Bledsoe, who hasn't been as efficient as he was in Milwaukee. Other than that, he's been kind of injury prone. But the thing is, you still have Kawhi, Paul George. You have it improved. And if he gives that same energy in the playoffs, Terrence Mann, who I think can possibly, I don't even know he's not going to start. He could be 6th man of the year. I think he's a candidate this year easily. And you finally get a healthy Serge Ibaka. I mean, I totally forgot he was on the Clippers last year. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
But I have them there at 4. Okay. Going on to 3, the Phoenix Suns. I feel like they're the same team returning. A great coach, Monty Williams. Great experience now for D-Book and DeAndre Ayton. You still have CP3 running the point, right? I see them finishing top 3 easy. I think it's the same exact team. Their chemistry is great. I think they play defense well and offense well. And they can give any team in the league a running for their money.
Okay.
And number 2, the Utah Jazz. A team that is really they're the mirror of last year, but I feel like this year they're destined. They have a purpose. They get Jeff Green, a sharpshooter off the bench, which I thought they were missing a lot last year due to Joe Ingles' struggles coming off the bench. I get he was a 6th man of the year. I get that. But in the playoffs, he didn't really look like it, I'll admit. And this year they can't really put a lot of pressure on Rudy Gobert guarding the rim. Okay, you need to. The team has to come together and play defense and make sure that Rudy doesn't crumble under pressure like he did against the Clippers. So this year, I think the Utah Jazz finished 2 because they're destined. I think they have a purpose, and Donovan Mitchell is motivated.
Okay.
That 1, no surprise here, right? Who I'm gonna pick? Los Angeles Lakers.
What a surprise.
You add a whole retirement home to your roster. You get Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, Kendrick Nunn, Bazemore, Dwight Howard, Trevor Ariza, welcome back. Rajon Rondo, welcome back. Malik Monk, sorry, Dwight, welcome back too. Bazemore, welcome back. Ellington, welcome back. But most of all, Russell Westbrook, right? You get them, and you still have a top duo in the league. Is AD and Braun. Well, I don't think they've lost a step. I think AD looks good. Please keep him in a bubble suit the whole season. I swear. If he gets hurt again, I'm not sure where this team will go. But you still have Braun and Russell, who I think can take the pressure off each other. And it's either title or straight failure, in my opinion.
I agree.
I'm going to keep it brutal.
If you have an offseason like that, yeah. Okay, so now that you're done with your list, I'm going to tell you where I disagree. Flip back to that last page. I'm not going to disagree, but it's kind of shocking or kind of interesting how the Blazers aren't on there. I personally would keep them out. If not, I'd put them in the A seed. I'm just saying, I'd keep them out. Okay. Let me see again. Mavs, I agree with that. You don't give Luka very much help in the offseason. The Warriors, I'm going to disagree. I would have the Warriors at 5. And the reason is because I think Stephen Curry is obviously coming off of maybe his best season as a pro. You look at Klay Thompson, he's going to come back around December-ish, maybe even sooner. And I do think that he's going to add another element. Even if he's not shooting the same or moving the same way, he's still going to have to, he's going to draw attention from defenses. Wiseman is coming back from another season, or having another off season. So I think that they're going to improve a lot this season. Looking at the Nuggets, I think the Nuggets you can move them to 4, and I'm going to drop the Clippers to 6. And again, I just think I'm not high on the Clippers anymore. After seeing what they've been doing over and over and over again, and Kawhi being injured, I think that they surprised me to how well they played in the playoffs without Kawhi, him being injured. Paul George kind of taking over and being that guy. But again, I think that was something that was sustainable for a short period of time. And I think that over the season, I think they're going to struggle a little bit and they're going to go through a few rough patches. And again, I'm going off of standings and how teams are going to finish the seedings, not on the top teams. That brings me to my top 3 teams of yours. I think that the Jazz are going to be 3. Not because I think they're the third best team.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I think the Suns are going to be 1, meaning the Lakers are 2. The reason why I think the Lakers are 2 is because LeBron is getting older. AD, you never know with his injury history. I think you have a bunch of new pieces that are going to come together. I think you're going to, as Little Man said, the retirement home. I think you could rest a few players from night to night, and you might drop a few games, but I still think they're undoubtedly the best team, and they're going to hit their stride at the end of the year. But I just think that they're going to fall and be at number 2, and I think the Suns are going to ride off that momentum in the finals, and they're going to be at number 1.
I have to say this about the Lakers. This team reminds me a lot of 2020. As y'all know, they picked up a lot of new players, right?
Yeah.
It took them a while for them to get the chemistry going, to win games. But I feel like it might be a lot like 2020. It's just the path that they are going to take to the championship might be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Considering with how competitive this West is now.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but I think this year both conferences are really competitive. More than I can remember in the last few years.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention Jamal Murray also his ACL injury. That's why I dropped him back. I don't think he's gonna be the same when he's coming back, and it's gonna take him a while to come back. I'm gonna go ahead with my Eastern Conference standings. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
At number 8, I have the Chicago Bulls. Now, I'm really excited to see this team, and I'm really excited to see the Bulls be competitive. I think adding a bunch of new pieces like Lonzo, Caruso, DeRozan, and you give Vucevic, you give him another offseason to really learn this offense and get together with Zach LaVine. I think they're going to be really entertaining and a really good defensive team. I just think that there's other teams that are better and have better chemistry so far. So my number 7 team, I'm going to go with the Knicks. I think the Knicks are a really well-rounded team. You have R.J. Barrett, you have Randall, as we know, got signed to a max in the offseason. You signed Kemba Walker and you traded for Evan Fournier. I think Evan Fournier is a really good offensive player. I think he could score at all 3 levels, but I think his defense is lackluster, and I think that's something that they can afford with their defense being so well all around. I think Kemba's health is going to be the biggest thing for this team, and I think that's the case with every team Kemba goes to. If you see his injury history, it hasn't really been a factor when he was with the Hornets, but going with the Celtics, he missed a lot of games and was injured for a large portion. So I think it's going to give Randall extra scores to take the pressure off of him. And you saw when he crumbles, like in the playoffs, there's no one else to get the scoring. So I think they're going to be 7. Going on number 6, this may be a surprise to some people. After them finishing number 1 in the East, I have the 76ers. The reason why I have the 76ers is because of everything that's been going on in the offseason. it's been proven. I'm not going to call Ben Simmons soft. I'm not that kind of person to call someone soft. But I think it is true that the fans do get to his head. And I think that when it comes to his playing style, it's not good. People are going to just point at that. Every time something with the team goes wrong, they're going to point at him. And my problem with Ben Simmons is that he could honestly be a 20, 10, and 10 player every night if he just gets a jump shot. Not even gets a jump shot, if he just starts attempting jump shots. It's not that he can't make it for me. It's that he doesn't even attempt them. So I think that all this offseason drama, and again, it's not even over with, and the season's just right around the corner. So I have them at 6. Going on with the Hawks, Trae Young had an incredible playoff run. One of the craziest things that we've seen from a young player leading his team after being injured, and then this team kind of carries it on and has a big win against the Bucks. If you look at this team, you hope that his supporting cast honestly carries on, because as I saw in the Knicks series, when he went on the bench, this offense struggled. They really did. And I think that's just something that you're going to have to build off of. And I do think that they're going to be really competitive. And I think that seeds 6 to 3 are just all going to be in the mix together. I don't think there's really a big gap between them. I'm just having the Hawks at 5. 4, I have the Celtics. Now, I understand that we have a new head coach, a first-year head coach. But I do like what I'm hearing from him. He's telling his players, and again, he suspended Marcus Smart for the last preseason game of the year. He told his players to just shut up when it comes to yelling at the referees. He'll handle it. That's something that I didn't like about this team, is that they would just yell at the refs instead of focusing on playing basketball. I think Jason Tatum could step into a facilitator role. I think that when you get all that attention defensively, you have a bunch of shooters now. You added a lot of depth. You brought back Al Horford, who's a veteran. And again, he may not be as good as he was 2-3 years ago when we had him, but he's still adding another element of spacing. He can still knock down the 3. And again, he's a vet. I think this team's defense is going to be really well. I think Peyton Pritchard adds effort on defense. And again, he knocks down long-range 3-pointers. Jaylen Brown is going to be Jaylen Brown. And I want him to kind of take on the mantle of being the number 1 scorer. As I said, I want Tatum to be the facilitator. I think that they have enough talent on the bench to, carry, so Tatum could carry this team. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Celtics at number 4.
Who do you want to start at point guard?
I'm gonna go shorter. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Smart. I'm gonna go Smart at point guard. And again, I forgot to mention Robert Williams. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Another year learning the defense. He does look lost at times, but he's natural talent. So I think that that's something to improve off of. Number 3, I have the Heat. They added a great leader, a great locker room guy in Kyle Lowry. One of the, I was going to say a sus joke, never mind.
The thickest player.
And again, Bam continues to improve every year. He's looking like a freak athlete. He has a jumper. He's freakishly athletic, as you saw in the bubble against Jason Tatum. And again, I think Jimmy Butler is going to come back and have another dominant season. We saw him kind of tail off at the end of the playoffs, something that we're not used to him doing. Shooting 30% in the playoffs against a really good team. So that's something that I'm not used to him doing. And you had 2 players that fit the description of this team. That's scrappy, grimy, bully basketball.
Basically added 2 Udonis Haslem.
Yeah, you added PJ Tucker and Markieff Morris. I think that's something that's great. And those are the underrated pickups in the offseason for me. Is because you just build off of your identity. And you're adding 2 players. You also have Tyler Hero, who thinks, what was the tweet that said he thinks he could be as good as other young players?
He thinks he could be in the same conversation as Luka, Trae, and John Morant.
He named Jason Tatum. That's weird to me. And also Duncan Robinson, who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA. So I think this team, their ceiling is really high. I think they could really give the top 2 teams a run for their money in this season.
And who are those top 2 teams?
I'm going to go on with the second team as one of the top 2 teams, the Brooklyn Nets. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going off of the standings and the seedings, not off of the best teams. I think that the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in the Eastern Conference, but looking at the Kyrie Irving situation, you don't know what's going to happen there. James Harden, again, is coming back off of an injury. I think he's going to be fine during the regular season, but we saw last year in the playoffs, this team struggled with injuries, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play together. I think you have a really good pickup in Patty Mills, who could score at all levels. He's really good. He's a veteran. He's just one of those guys who just, every time you watch the game, he stands out. Just every time. And Kevin Durant, best scorer on the planet right now. He was playing dominant basketball before they went out. So I'm going to have them as 2. Again, I don't think they're the second best team. I think they're the best. Just what it's playing out right now is kind of iffy. And number 1, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are building off of their championship. Giannis looks unstoppable, and he's only 26 years old. You have Chris Middleton, who has been inconsistent in the past. I think now that kind of monkey is off his back, winning a championship, playing good in the finals, I think that you're going to start to see him elevate his game. Drew Holiday, again, what can I say about him? Having great defense in the finals, stepping up, making big plays. And I think that this team, they're going to feel it. Be honest, he's in that killer mode, and I think they're going to take over and be the number 1 seed this year.
Okay, so give me your 8 through 5 again.
Okay, all right, hang on. 8 through 5, it's Bulls, Knicks, Sixers.
Bulls,
Hawks.
Knicks, Sixers, Hawks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch. I'm going to go ahead and switch the Sixers and the Bulls.
Oh,
I think
oh my God.
I think the Bulls are a lot rounded this year. I think that starting 5 could put up a lot of points.
And defend.
I think they could defend really well all around, right? I think the Knicks are perfect at 7, but their liability is the guards. I don't think they can defend well at all. And so with the Sixers too, all that drama, they're at 8 for me. With all that drama going on with Ben Simmons and with getting another trade they turned down was DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker from the Spurs.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that could have catapulted them. I thought that could have made them top 4 in the league, if I'm being honest, in the East. Because those are really very 2 good, valuable players for the San Antonio Spurs. And I think the Hawks at 5, very understandable. I mean, coming off the season they had as underdogs, I think that's a perfect place to put them, especially because I don't think I can make them run like that again, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I really don't, especially with the way things are shaping up for the Bucks, the Nets, and then the third team. Who's your third team?
Oh,
Celtics.
No, the third team was the Heat.
And the Heat, exactly. I think your 4 were perfect, the first 4. I think the Celtics are going to be a totally different team than last year, in my opinion. A lot of bench scoring, Payne Pritchard's improving. I liked what he did in the Summer League. And Jason Tatum, of course, as we all know, he is an MVP candidate, right? In my opinion, I think he has that potential. And Jaylen Brown, who's right there with him. I mean, he could go for Defensive Player of the Year, probably the Most Improved Player of the Year. He can go for a whole bunch of awards, a scoring title. The way he's been progressing each year in year out.
Oh,
let's
hope that COVID doesn't affect him like it did Jason Tatum, because he did get COVID. Let's hope.
Yeah. Let's just hope. Let's hope. Okay, really? As you have a Warrior jersey on, but Dennis Schroeder, right? For the Lakers, I thought he did good. It's just his playoff performance is what really aggravated me. I mean, he went a whole game 0 for 9, right? And you were supposed to be that third option for us. You were supposed to be there when AD went down. You were supposed to be that guy. But for the Celtics, I think he's gonna have a whole lot different role, which he can succeed in. So I think that them at 4 is perfect. And with the Heat, 2 Black Air Force One energy players, and Markieff Morris and PJ Tucker, and even Jimmy Butler. I think I could put him there too, right?
Yeah,
it's physical. This team's gonna be, I don't want to say thick, all right, but that paint's gonna be pretty hard to get into. And the 3-point shooting, adding Kyle Lowry as a point guard, deadly, absolutely deadly.
Yeah.
At 2, Brooklyn Nets. I thought that was really good what you did. Because even if Kyrie isn't going to play with all the stuff he's going through right now, play or not, you still have James Harden and Kevin Durant. 2 guys who are going to be in the MVP race year in and year out.
Yeah.
And you have a star-studded team. You added Paul Millsap. You get LaMarcus Aldridge back. You still have Blake Griffin, Bruce Brown. They're just still stacked from last year, right? It's like they never left. And number 1, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is going to be out to get that second title, right? You add Rodney Hood, another 3-point shooter. You get Dante DiVincenzo back, which I thought was a very key piece.
That's true, yeah.
And they won the championship without him. So imagine this year when they have him for a full season.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm gonna go ahead and grade your list. I'm going to give it an A.
Okay, nice. Every year's a C+. Jesus. And hopefully...
Sorry, my conference is harder, okay?
It's
harder to put in standings.
That's something.
I'm not saying it's not hard. It's hard. Okay?
Yeah. That's something that I was gonna ask for the comment section. I want to see what you guys think is gonna be not the harder conference, but the more competitive conference. Where do you think it's gonna be the most shuffle from teams 3 to 8? And also, I'm actually interested. I'm calling out I want to hear his list. Make a TikTok about your list on both conferences. See where we can make fun of you at. So is that it for the video?
I think a lot of people might hate that we left the Hornets off.
Yeah. Who cares about the Hornets? Okay. All right, go ahead.
I think that's another team that's potential playing team.
Yeah.
Not the Detroit Pistons. Okay. Some of these little podcasters just because they got Cade Cunningham, right?
Yeah. Facts.
And Luka Garza. It's not gonna happen. Sorry.
I agree with them, man. I agree. So thank you guys for watching another episode. This is kind of different. Me and Lil Man kind of just came up with this concept on the fly. My idea, obviously. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share, interact with us, tell us what you disagree with us on, what you agree with us on. And thank you guys. I think that was a really good video.